The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame are proud to recognize the MAAC Honor Roll Class of 2019. This year's elite class is composed of fierce competitors, respected leaders, record breakers, and champions. But beyond that, these 22 student athletes, coaches, and administrators have embodied the mission of the MAAC through their determination, resilience, and integrity. They have acted as trusted mentors and loyal friends, both on and off the court.
My game progressed by leaps and bounds, exponentially, in my opinion, and that's all credit goes to the coaching staff at Canisius. Coach Mac, man, everything. He helped me progress from a boy to a man. He helped my game develop. He helped me develop in so many ways. On and off the court, I can't thank him enough.
My high school coach's name was Don Foreman, and he had played at Canisius. So as I started looking at colleges, he asked me if I would consider going to his alma mater and taking a tour. And I said, of course I will go to your school. What is it? He said, Canisius College. And I said, well, where is that? And he said, Buffalo, New York. And I said, let's go. Dr. Starr and the coach and some of the players rolled out the red carpet. And when you're recruited like that, and people make you feel wanted, doesn't everybody want to feel wanted? And so my heart was set on Canisius. I learned a lot about life when I got to Canisius. It was the city, and I had a roommate. I had to live in the residence halls. I had a wonderful role model in Pete Koenig, our athletic trainer. And he took care of me and my injuries, and I ended up becoming an athletic trainer. So when Canisius hired Pete, that was my sophomore year. That basically changed my life.
I used to call it the Red Sea when I played in Alumni Hall. You couldn't hear yourself talk during the game. You had to get right next to your teammate. Well, Coach Bonner Girls yelled a lot so we could hear him wherever we were. You always watch the NCAA tournament on TV, so you're watching Michael Jordan and Georgetown with Pat Ewing and Sleepy Floyd. So that experience of coming in as a freshman, you make your NCAA tournament, and actually the first NCAA tournament that Fairfield was ever in. Sophomore year in the Meadowlands, we were down, I want to say 23 at some point with 10 minutes to go in the game. And 20-something seconds left, I hit the game-tying three-point shot against Iona, and then my buddy AJ hit the game winner to send us to the NCAA tournament.
I think I was first or second grade when I picked up a ball. I grew up in Queens, New York, and it was just an easy thing to play. We didn't have a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of space, and we just had a hoop in the yards. Everything that I've learned along the way up into and including my college experience is helping me as a mother, it's helping me as a teacher. I have two daughters myself. They know my experiences and background, so I feel like I'm a role model for them. Nobody was ever gonna beat me, no one was ever gonna outplay me, and even as an upperclassman, I would be a starting point guard, and I would be the first one to finish sprints. I would be the first one out on the court. I mean, I'm just competitive at heart, and I just loved the energy and the drive when I stepped on the court.
I had a great experience at Iona. I'm also an educator myself now, so it taught me discipline and dedication, which I try to instill in my students now. Coming in as a college freshman onto a good team, being able to win a MAAC championship, going to the NCAA tournament, playing against Syracuse in the first round. That would probably be my most fondest memory here at Iona. The other two championships were great as well, but I think that one probably sticks out the most to me. I played with a great group of guys, not just great basketball players, but just a great group of guys. To me, the best teams that I've ever been on were teams where the players were close, where we were more like a family. And I got that family feel from the first day I came to Iona.
Basketball was my out. I grew up in a very rough neighborhood, so being able to play was the one thing that I enjoyed growing up. It taught me perseverance. I had a really tough time with it when it came to injuries, especially late on in my career. I sprained my ACL. The last game of the season, I actually fractured my ankle, and I was able to still push through and have a really nice professional career in France. My mom came to every single game. When I was watching film one day, you can actually hear my mom in the stands yelling defense. And that's how much of an impact she had, not just on me, but on the team.
I think about my days at Manhattan just about every day. The win that I think I remember the most was our win versus Penn at the Music City Invitational Tournament in Nashville. And we beat Penn in the first round of that, and I think I hit a shot towards the end of the game. We played a really good game, and we beat a real good team. And we'd always kind of said they had beaten Villanova, Villanova had beaten Georgetown, and you know that should put us right up near the top ranking-wise. You don't become a good scorer without guys who will play unselfishly and get you the ball. Joe McGinnis was my point guard the first 2 years. Jim Hoffler was the point guard my junior year and some of my senior year. And these guys were the most unselfish players you could ever imagine playing with. If I ran hard and I was open, I got the ball, no question about it. You know, and it was a pleasure to play with guys like that.
Being the first team to win 20 games, first team to actually win the MAAC championship and play in the NCAA was a big memory. And then just, you know, all the friends and, you know, great people you met through the 4 years. My sister-in-law played with me for 4 years at high school and for college, so that's certainly a special bond. After I left Manhattan, I stayed at the college level. I was at the college level coaching for 20 some odd years. And then I had an opportunity to go back to my high school to be able to give back, and now I teach and coach at my high school. Coach Solano was my coach for 4 years, and you know, I learned a tremendous amount from her. She got the most out of all of us, and also helped mold me and shape me into the coach I am today. I was competitive and I always wanted to win, and I was all about the team. So, you know, all these honors are nice and very appreciative, but I wouldn't be where I am, or I wouldn't be getting any of these honors if it wasn't for my great coaches and all my teammates.
The opportunity to take over at Marist back in 1986 was a unique one. A team that had a number of great players, starting with Rick Smits. Looking back on it, I certainly have no regrets. It was one of the great opportunities in my business to have a player that ultimately was the #2 pick in the NBA draft, took us to an NCAA tournament. I think about the 87 team, the last team to go to the NCAA tournament, men's team, and it just, you know, it's very easy for me to reflect back and remember how wonderful that feeling was. When the opportunity to coach at West Point came up in 2005, I felt it was something I had to look into, and sort of remarkable that I'm still coaching here. I think people think it's sort of funny that I'm coaching women after 33 years on the men's side, but it's been a wonderful experience.
There's personal achievements that I had, like scoring my 1,000th point against Mount St. Mary's my senior year and beating Siena College on the road by a point. Those were some great team celebrations and team memories that I have. I do still maintain the friendships that were formed during my time at Marist. It's really cool to see how everyone has grown and their successes in life off the court. I even stay in touch with our team manager, who was just a real important person in my life. The coaching staff at Marist College, they were great, very supportive, very encouraging, pushed me to be the best player that I could possibly be and the best teammate I could be. I really appreciated all of what they gave me and walked away knowing that I was part of a team and a staff that loved me.
My father was a basketball player. He used to go to a lot of open gyms up here at Fort Monmouth when I was a little guy, so I'd be over there throwing the ball underhand while he's playing full court. Just a family thing. When I was in high school, my father came in my room and see me just watching TV and said, well, you know, While you sitting here watching TV, there's kids across the country that's working on their game, and that always stuck with me. Coach Callaway always said, you're a student first and then the athlete, student athlete. So he instilled that. Even assistant coaches, those guys were, weren't just coaches, but, they were friends, coaches, mentors, everything you could think of. When we won a championship, won 2 of them, 2 conference championships, and going to the dance twice. Just the excitement of having the student athletes and the campus and everybody, cheering for you guys through the whole thing. Just nothing like it. Nothing like it.
If you're a student athlete, you know that you rely on your team to carry you through because you're with them night and day. It's really important to have those relationships while you are playing because you're gonna have a lot of rough times and you need that support from your teammates. We're having kids now, we're all, mommies and we're in life now, so we call each other. We have those moments where like, remember that time when coach said this? We would have these grueling 6 a.m. practices. Coach Jim Baxter would come in with his blocking pads, he'd yell across the gym, "It's a great day to be alive." And at the time, it was like, oh goodness gracious, here we go, another hard practice. But as I am older, there is nothing better than being alive. So that is probably one of my fondest memories.
As a kid, I played many sports. So I was a skier, played volleyball, and I was really into softball as well. But on the basketball court, it just felt natural for me. And from there, I excelled with the Team Ontario and Team Canada. So that became my primary sport because of that. Here at Niagara, we had so many great influences with my assistant coaches. But Coach O'Gronin was my coach here for 4 years, and he really had the most impact on my career. And I think because he had so much confidence in me, so in turn it gave my self-confidence to play on the court. Attitude is everything. So if you're gonna come at something with a negative attitude after a loss, or if you're not happy with your coach's decisions sometimes, if you're gonna be negative about it, it's just gonna ruin your whole experience here. So attitude, hands down, is everything, and always try to look at the positive for everything that you do.
No question, Quinnipiac was the best 20 years of my whole career, if not my whole life. I have my wife Linda and I and my 4 sons all have an opportunity to experience Quinnipiac's growth. I came to visit as a candidate for the job. President Leahy talked during the interview about going to Division I. And frankly, one of the first persons I called was Rich Ensher. He said, "Jack, this is what you need to do." We did it. And 10 years later, we became a full member of MAAC. Probably the greatest memory I ever had at Quinnipiac in any sport, bar none, was the league championship game here in this building, full of people. We just fell short to make it to the NCAA tournament, but I'll never forget, it was probably the first time in my career I ever left a building with a smile on my face after we lost. Athletics is a lifelong friendship, and now with social media and email and Twitter, it's so easy to stay in touch and follow so many of these great athletic directors and great schools. So I'm a huge fan of the MAAC. I continue to follow and tweet as much as I can about the MAAC.
There's a lot of memories from being a student athlete, transitioning to Division I as a sophomore and playing against UConn at Gamble Pavilion, just Connecticut being the big basketball state, and then being able to play in that arena. People still are like, "You played there?" Now they've played again there, and it's progressed a lot from the level that we were at to now. And now that they're making the NCAA tournament and winning the MAAC conference and have this beautiful new arena, it's just amazing to see and to have been a part of the beginning and Coach's early years. Trish was an awesome mentor to me. Being a post player herself, I just remember her really working on my skills that were pretty raw and undeveloped at that time. Just to watch her grow as a coach and the way that she's adapted and refined her skills and grown to this level of competition that's just literally keeping up with UConn. Amazing to see over the years. To be there at the foundation is pretty cool to see where it's come.
I just always wanted to be a basketball player, and that's what I've been doing all my life. Coach Harnum, I think he's been someone who's taken a chance with me and given me an opportunity that probably no one has ever given me, because the only scholarship I had offered coming into Rider was Rider. So he stuck by my side, and one thing I wanted to do, not only for him, but for myself and family, was to do the best I could, and to not leave anything behind at Rider University. And just to be a person that wants something in life, just being a person that is respected, and that comes a long way. Even like now, 14 years later, I'm sitting here having this interview because of those values.
I had so much potential, but I just needed the right people in my circle to bring the best out of me, and I feel like Coach definitely did that. And then Sticks, he's a grinder. He wants you to be the best that you can, and I feel like Sticks really brought the best out of me. We had one summer together. After that summer, I ended up being Player of the Year, and that just shows like what dedication and commitment can do when you buy into a system. My last 2 years, I really bought in, just doing what it took to be great, and then just being around a bunch of people who held me accountable and pushed me every day. Like every practice, we went hard. We knew what it took to be great. Just being around a great group of people, being pushed every day, and just that discipline that I had being a student athlete at Rider, it carried over into my professional career where I was able to be successful.
I just remember playing a lot of minutes and I was very exhausted, but I had one of those games where I was making it easier for my teammates. I could have had a lot of points, but when you think of what's the best for the balance of that group, having 20 assists that game was the best thing to do. So I think that was indicative of my career, so to speak, at St. Peter's, in the way that I played the basketball game. Basketball gave me a true rush. I could sweat and I can enjoy myself. I can make myself happy, my teammates happy, I can be part of the team. Sports in general is just a beautiful thing. I go back to Team Walker, what we have, and it's an after-school program, and we offer a lot of things, but the root of our blood comes from being student athletes, Division I athletes.
We had been favored 2 years entering that year, so I think the pressure was really starting to mount for us. I think our perseverance in that case paid off, and I think that also helped our bond, the fact that we went through the disappointments before that culmination of winning the MAAC championship. Really, the thing I look back most fondly is the relationships that I developed with my teammates, my coaching staff, that trust, that camaraderie. It's something that is really, really difficult to replicate in any other arena. And I think more than anything else, that's what I miss and what I cherish the most. One thing that I always remember from Coach Grinelli was to accentuate the positives. So look at what someone can bring to the table as opposed to maybe their deficiencies. And I think that's a really valuable lesson in life too.
My father was a high school basketball coach, and as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, I used to wander into the gym and I'd watch the workouts and I would kick the balls around and I would dribble around. So I was your quintessential gym rat at age 3. The first year we were Division I, we were not affiliated with the conference, so we played a lot of road games. We played some very good teams. We played some guarantee games, like at Syracuse. When we played Syracuse, they were ranked number 2 in the country, and we found out why. But we had a great group of players, a great group of guys. We played hard. My career as a trustee is just about 20 years now. For about 15 of those years, I chaired our athletic committee. And I think athletics is a very important part of the student experience. I think it's part of our identity and how we play, how we perform, how we conduct ourselves. I think that's all very important to the ethos of the college.
I looked at a lot of schools that were not in my hometown because I did want to go away. I had lived here in Albany, New York ever since 4th grade, so I was ready for kind of a change of scenery. But as soon as I did my visit on site at Siena, I learned that this is where I wanted to be. I would say all 4 years were amazing, but my senior year notably because we were the Magnificent Seven. There weren't many of us. We had a lot of adversity that we had to face that year, and the team really came together. And I think that that was where some of my best friendships were formed, and a lot of people rose to the challenge of getting to the end of the season, yet alone the WBI, and making it to the championship game down in Lafayette there, and just being able to have those memories to carry on with me was really special.
Congratulations to the MAAC Honor Roll Class of 2019.